Hey everyone! This video is brought to you by EA Creator Network. I'm not being paid, they simply sent me the pack a little bit early. Sully Simmers. Is The Sims 4 Horse Ranch worth buying? Let's talk about it. This review is based on my own personal opinions, and I will try to include as much information about the pack as I can. I might miss a thing or two, so please let me know in the comments if you have any questions that are not answered in this video. There will be an FAQ section at the end of this video, so make sure you go through that first, because I might answer your question. I was given early access to The Sims 4 Horse Ranch over the past couple of weeks, and here's everything I've gathered. There is a new world. The Sims 4 Horse Ranch comes with a new world called Chestnut Ridge. This world has 13 lots, which is more than the previous expansions that we've gotten. For example, cottage living, high school years, and growing together all come with 12. Chestnut Ridge features 3 neighborhoods. The Galloping Gulch is full of trails and campgrounds. It also features the Dread Horse Caverns, which is a cave system that your Sims can go through and explore and find rare treasures. It has a D&D type story that your Sims will follow as they fight to explore and progress further. Personally, I found it really fun to explore, even though I never made it past the first level. It definitely left me wanting more. I'm hoping to figure out the riddles more as I play, because they definitely left me a little bit stumped. There are a lot of beautiful sights in this area that will be perfect for photo shoots, specifically the cascading waterfalls with a rainbow around them and a swimming hole. You'll know it when you see it. New Appaloosa is the historic town that features the saloon, the dance hall, the grocery store / general store, and the equestrian center. The town is beautiful and feels very full at first glance, but the general store and the equestrian center are both rabbit holes, and your Sims are unable to interact with any of the other buildings. This is very similar to how we have been seeing towns in The Sims 4, but I will give the Sims team props for making this town feel a little bit more tangible than previously. It's also very charming. Ryder's Glen is the third neighborhood that is out in the fields, and it is home to ranchers and nectar makers. There's like loads of space for your Sims to make a ranch of their own. You can also explore the surrounding areas for collectibles, go fishing, and even look for some wild prairie grass. I found it a lot of fun to take my horse on rides through the creeks and the meadows while looking for nectar ingredients. There's a huge 64 by 64 lot that is literally perfect for you making a large ranch of your own. You will notice when exploring the entirety of Chestnut Ridge that there are a lot of places that feature horse equipment. I really liked this because the equipment is large, so it's nice to know that if I'm living on a smaller lot and I don't have room for it, I can always just trot nearby to some horse training equipment. Going off of that, a lot of the lots have meadows and paddocks adjacent to them, which makes them kind of feel like they're a part of your Sims property. I found that a lot of times when I would leave my horses alone, they would autonomously run over to those meadows and paddocks. And it makes a lot of sense because horses need a lot of space. I think it was a clever way for them to lay out the world and make it feel like your Sims have more space than they actually do. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I live on a home lot, I hardly play in the world like surrounding it, but this pack will definitely change that for me. Even though each section of the map had its loading screens, the maps overall felt very large, which is good because horses can get places quickly. And it low-key reminded me of open world. It was like a tiny little taste of what we will never have. Let's talk about Cass. Moving on to Cass. This pack comes with 7 femme hairs, 6 mask hairs, 18 femme tops, 19 mask tops, 8 femme pants, 3 mask pants, 6 full body femme outfits, 4 full body mask outfits, 4 femme boots, 2 mask boots, 6 new hats, 3 new facial hairs, 3 necklaces, 2 earrings, a pair of gloves for the teen plus Sims. There are also 2 hats for kids and a couple of tops, bottoms, and boots. Toddlers get this really cute full body outfit along with the top, bottoms, and boots. Infants get this adorable horse onesie. This list does not include any of the base game update items, which I'm hoping to go over in another video. There are definitely more than enough Cass items for teen plus Sims, but I am a little bit disappointed that there wasn't more Cass for kids, especially since they can ride horses. I understand that the gameplay of this pack is geared more towards older Sims, but I still think the kids deserved a couple more options. Let's move on to horse Cass. If you have cats and dogs, you're going to be super familiar with this menu. You can pick from more than 30 horse breeds. There are 7 manes, 7 forelocks, 4 tails, 2 coat thicknesses, 2 blankets, 2 bridles, and 3 saddles. You can also add a unicorn horn to your horse in Cass. Unfortunately, unicorns are not a real occult in The Sims 4. I think it would have been a really fun challenge to try to find a unicorn in live mode. It was always super rewarding to do that in The Sims 3, so I'm a little bit disappointed by that. You can also add stamps and stencils or freehand depend on your horse to customize them. There are 2 outfits, one for every day and one for riding. Your horse will automatically change into the riding one when a sim tries to mount them, so there's no need for you to worry about that. Horses have 3 traits and they can't conflict. For example, if you have an aggressive horse, they can't also be a mellow horse. You can also create foals in CAS. However, foals that are born naturally can unlock special traits that you will not be able to get by making a foal in CAS. This excites me because I love breeding animals in games and trying to see what traits and stats I can unlock, so that's definitely going to be one of the things I will be doing. Overall, I feel like the quality of items that come in CAS is really good. There are a lot of extra meshes. They're not drawn on like they would have been in the earlier days of The Sims 4. However, a lot of the tops are a little bit repetitive because they are the same shirt with a vest or a jacket over them. And while I like this option to have my Sims decide if they want to wear layers or not, I wish it didn't take away from the overall CAS amount. There's this one shirt for Masked Sims in particular that looks exactly the same as the shirt above it with a couple extra swatches. So I'm not really sure why that's a thing. I don't know why they'd make 2 versions of a shirt if there are no noticeable differences. At least I didn't notice any difference. Maybe I saw it wrong. I don't know. I did really like that a lot of the items feature dirty swatches because if your sim is working on a ranch and riding horses, they are going to get dirty. The overall color scheme of CAS is also really nice because we had a lot of neutrals and some very bright complementary desert colors. When it comes to horse CAS, I'm very satisfied except for the fact that horses can have pastel hairs and our sims cannot. What's up with that? Give us these swatches for our sims, please. I'm begging you. Let's talk about build by. As previously mentioned, there are 13 lots that you can edit in Chestnut Ridge. I was very happy with the build buy that came in this pack. The wood textures reminded me a lot of custom content wood textures, which is a really good thing, and they felt way more detailed than they have in the past. I also liked the variety of items that came in the pack. The only thing missing was appliances such as stoves, toilets, sinks, refrigerators, and ovens. However, I feel as though you can get ranch vibes from other Sims DLCs such as Cottage Living and the Country Kitchen Kit. The base game stuff matches pretty fine as well. We did get a really cool grill, also known as a firebox, and honestly, I think it looks okay indoors, so if you wanted to put it in your kitchen for the aesthetic, that would be totally fine. But this might lead to kitchen fires, so don't come after me if your sim burns your kitchen down. Other than the nectar maker, there was a lack of gameplay objects, but I think having horses kind of makes up for that in a way, because they bring a load of gameplay themselves. That being said, I do think a mechanical bull ride would have been awesome. Everyone loves a cool and chaotic item. I also really liked the nectar rack. Your sims can use this item to store and age nectar, and it's really cool that as players we can visually see like how many bottles are being stored in the rack at a time. I absolutely love that detail. I also heard a rumor that if you put your nectar racks in a cellar or basement, they will age faster. The slots on the ranch arch is also really cool. It's a fun way to customize your ranch and even name it, which I think is a fun detail that adds a lot of personality. You can unlock a lot of fun ranch signs by building skills with your horse. This also might just be a me thing, but I'm kind of sad that there's no new woohoo item, like specifically a haystack. Like, come on. In The Sims 3, haystack woohoos were iconic, and I feel like it would have been cool for them to use the woohoo bush item that we already have, but retexture it to look like a haystack. I'm not fully sure how difficult that would have been, but I feel like the animations would already be in place because the woohoo bush animations would have worked fine for that. Definitely a missed opportunity. Some cool things to note are we can now use free cam in build mode, which is huge. I'm so glad we're able to do this now without installing a mod. There are also a lot of swatch updates coming in a base game update that will match the items from Horse Ranch. I'm very grateful that the Sims team went back and added all those swatches to items that we already have from the base game. You can also paint ceilings now with any existing floor tile. Awesome. Life-changing, honestly. I don't know if it's just me though, but I did find it a little bit difficult to paint ceilings because you have to kind of tilt your camera at a very specific angle to get it to work. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it definitely took me a little bit of time to figure out. These are all base game updates, by the way, but I felt like they were important enough to include in this review because they also enhanced Horse Ranch. Overall, I'm very impressed with the build buy. I love the colors, the vibes, and the functionality of a lot of the items. I just wish that there were a few more gameplay items that our Sims could interact with, and man, the haystack woohoo was a missed opportunity. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay. Starting with nectar making. Your Sims can build the nectar skill by, you guessed it, making nectar. The better they get at it, the faster the nectar will age and the better quality it will be. You can also unlock recipes the higher you get your nectar skill. Making nectar will make your Sims dirty, especially if they fall into it a lot, but you can have other Sims watch a Sim make nectar to raise their fun. There is even a special nectar recipe that can revive dead Sims like Ambrosia. Moving on to horse stuff. Horses can build 4 skills: temperament, jumping, agility, and endurance. All of these skills will improve your horse's performance in competitions. You can compete for money and medals that you can proudly display in your home. Horses require a lot of care, including a bed to sleep in, a ball for entertainment, food and water troughs, and the loving touch of a Sim. Grooming your horse is very important, and it will raise your friendship between your horse and your Sim. Some interactions are great for comforting a sad horse or calming a spooked horse. You will see them highlighted if your horse is going through big emotions. Horses also poop, which is delightful because you can sell it for money or you can use it as fertilizer for your ranch. There are very specific horse pee and poo animations, by the way, so keep an eye out for those. Just thought you'd like to know. The manure quality actually changes based on what you feed your horse. You'll also have to actively muck their stalls and keep their beds clean to keep them happy and healthy. There's also a sentiment that revolves around horse poop, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. I've mentioned the horse training equipment, but not in detail yet, so let's talk about it. So the barrels are for training agility specifically, which is one of the 4 types of competitions you can enter, and the bars are for training jumps, which again is another one of the competitions you can enter. The ultimate horse competitions take a lot of effort and time, and they will not be easy to win. Personally, I got a lot of gold medals, but they were all like the super basic competitions, so I don't really know if that's supposed to be easier than the other ones. I'm assuming so, but I am really excited to have more time to spend trying to get to the higher level of competitions. Horses can breed with each other. They'll need to build a relationship with each other before you can have a Sim encourage them to breed, but it is possible. Breeding horses will generate unique traits in their foals, and ultimate championship horses can pass down a very special trait. So breeding for stats is kind of a thing, and I'm into it. It's also so cute because if you have a foal, you will have to have your Sim help wean them off of their mother's milk by hand feeding them prairie grass, and that is just such a cute little detail. I loved doing it in the game. So freaking cute. We talked about life, but I should also mention that horses can die. They have a full life cycle that goes from foal to elder, so when your horses get old enough, they will die. This means that horse graves are a thing. Great news to our local grave collectors. You know who you are. Kids can also ride horses, which I think is a great feature, and I'm so glad that they included that in this pack. Fun fact, horses cannot climb foundations, so as long as your house is on a foundation, you won't get any unexpected visitors. If you don't have a foundation, well...
Peter. The horse is here.
Let's talk about ranch life. Ranch life is a little bit different than cottage living life, but it has a lot of similarities as well. For example, you have to clean and feed the goats and sheep when their needs get low, similar to chickens. You can also milk the mini goats and shear the mini sheep for money if you don't have cottage living. If you do have cottage living, you will get the wool and the milk. You do have an option to scare the goats to make them faint, but I never did that because I felt too bad, so I'm not sure what happens. However, I've heard that mini goats can headbutt your shins, so I'm assuming that might happen. Unfortunately, goats and sheep cannot kill your Sims the way that chickens can. Disappointing. You can purchase goats and sheep by clicking on a horse bed, the community board, or going to the general store. The value of a sheep's wool changes depending on what color the sheep is. In my experience, black sheep had the most expensive wool, and they were also the most expensive to buy. There's plenty of horse training equipment scattered around the world, which I mentioned earlier. This means you don't have to reserve space on your tiny little ranch to have a space to train your horse. And just trot on over to the nearest equipment. There is a swimming hole near the cascading rainbow waterfalls as well, where you can ride your horse, camp, and maybe even swim. It's very beautiful, and I definitely see a lot of proposals happening there in the future, at least for me. I briefly talked about it earlier, but there is a D&D inspired cave called the Dread Horse Caverns. It's a very fun addition to this pack, and I really love the direction that the Sims team is going in when making this. It made the world feel more alive, and I often found myself planning my Sims Sim's entire day around trying to get through that cavern. I still have the itch to try to get further and unlock more of the mysteries. Some other gameplay features I wanted to mention are the inclusion of 3 new Native American recipes. There's also a new item called prairie grass. You can harvest it and potentially find something within it, or you can have your horse look for something. Prairie grass can also be fed to horses as well as a substitute to hay, and there is a new lot challenge that revolves around prairie grass. And finally, there are a lot of shooting stars that can be seen in certain parts of the world at night. I have yet to see one, but let me know if you do. If y'all are anything like me, you're probably also wondering if there's any cross-pack compatibility. I only have information on a few things because when I had access to this, I only had base game and horse ranch installed, but I made sure to ask about cats and dogs and cottage living as those packs both feature animals. When it comes to cats and dogs, the vet will not interact with horses in any way. Your horses will not get sick, so there's no cross-pack gameplay there. However, horses will interact with cats and dogs if they're in your family. I've not seen this yet, but I'm definitely hoping to after I get the full pack on the 20th. Horses can also interact with the animals from cottage living as well. I'm definitely excited to see those interactions. When it comes to other worlds, you will not see horses walking around with their Sims. You will only see horses walking around with their Sims in Chestnut Ridge. Let's go through some FAQ. Are there any horses in the wild? No, but you can rescue and adopt horses through the phone, the equestrian center, or the community board. I'm definitely a little disappointed in that. Are there any new collectibles? No. Do basements age nectar faster? Yes. Nectar aging is also based on the skill of the sim who stomps it, but basements will increase the speed of nectar aging. Are the horse stalls similar to the cow and llama stalls from cottage living? No, the horse is not tied to any stall, so you can fully customize it however you'd like. Can you get golden sheep and goats? No, that is only reserved for cottage living. Do horses react to the weather? Yes. Horses will get spooked by lightning and get very uncomfortable if left outside in the rain. How long is a horse's pregnancy? A couple of sim days. In my experience, my horse was pregnant for 2 sim days, and you will get a notification when they go into labor. Are there any new deaths or woohoos? In regards to sims, no, but all of your animals can die, and I guess you can woohoo in the new bush, but we've seen that before, so no. Can you revive your horse or have a ghost horse? Yes, it's actually really cool. Can you ride your horse into other worlds? Yes, you can ride them anywhere, but I definitely don't recommend trying to ride them in apartments. Can horses run away? No, but they will be whisked away if you neglect them. Are there any new careers? No, and this is a big issue for me because we haven't had a new career in The Sims 4 since the interior decorator career, and that one is busted. So I would say the last working career is the one that came with the paranormal stuff pack, and stuff packs have been dead for a while. So I am a little bit disappointed that we haven't had a career in a Sims pack in a couple of years. However, there are some odd jobs that you can do around the town, just like you can in cottage living. Do horses take up a household slot? Yes, which is also unfortunate. I feel like at this point, maybe cats, dogs, and horses should count for their own household slots, because if you want a cat, a dog, and a horse, you can only have up to 5 Sims in your house. If y'all happen to have any more questions that I did not go over here, please be sure to leave them in the comments, and I'm going to go through and try to answer them for you to the best of my ability. I didn't know what to expect with this pack going into it. I wouldn't call myself a horse girl, so I was pretty neutral about the idea of horses in The Sims 4. After playing this pack for about a week, I didn't really get to experience all of it yet because it comes with a lot of content, and it takes a lot of time for you to work your way up in your nectar skill and horse riding skill. This pack will call for a lot of dedication to gaining those skills in order to run a productive ranch. I do like the challenge that comes with this pack. It doesn't feel like it's handed to you and it's not easy to get your way to the top. It's a nice, refreshing feeling after previous packs in The Sims 4 have been super easy and they kind of feel like spoon-fed. I like the challenges that come with this pack because a lot of Sims 4 gameplay feels very repetitive and easy compared to its predecessors. I feel like this pack also comes with a lot of casts that I can see use for outside of just this pack. I mean, denim can be used in basically any situation. The townies and the lore that come in this pack are also awesome and really engaging. It really helps add to that small town type vibe. It was also really awesome to see indigenous representation in The Sims 4. It was showcased in the townies, specific cast items, some special build buy items, and some new recipes. A lot of build buy is very nice as well, but it's a little bit more tailored to the ranch type style. However, I do feel like a lot of building styles can be replicated using items from this pack. The windows in particular are very versatile, and I can see myself using them in a lot of future builds. I absolutely love the barn doors that come with this pack as well. I feel like a lot of the wallpaper is a bit repetitive, but I do appreciate more swatches than less swatches. Do I think that I will use horses in every gameplay situation going forward? No. I feel like they're pretty niche and they require a lot of attention. So you would need to have a dedicated place for them in your household and be certain you're caring for them literally every single day. Not all of my gameplay will have space for them, but I do think they will make for some very interesting specific Let's Plays in the future. I feel as though once I get past the initial excitement of new skills and new gameplay, I might not find myself using the nectar maker very often or focusing on training my horse every day. I think it's going to be up to you as an individual. Do you enjoy horses? I would say horse enjoyers will love this pack. They did a great job with the horses. If you're someone who could care less about horses and experiencing the ranch life, I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase this pack at full price. In comparison to a pack like Growing Together, which features a core life stage of The Sims 4, which I still don't fully like that that's behind a paywall and segmented, but that's another story. I don't think Horse Ranch is a must-have. Again, I would base it off of your own opinion of what I've shown you here in the build by cast and gameplay, and ask yourself, does it spark joy? I will say I think a lot of the recent expansion packs have been really awesome. Do I like that they cost roughly $40? Absolutely not. I would wait for a sale or a giveaway unless you literally cannot live another second without horses in your game. Again, this is my honest opinion. They're not paying me. I did not purchase the pack, but I would have because this is my job. If this wasn't my job, I think I would also wait for a sale or a giveaway. I hope that this review was helpful or insightful. If you have any questions or you would like me to expand upon something in this video, please leave a comment down below. Thank you again to the Creator Network for giving me early access and a chance to explore this pack and review the game. If you enjoyed this or any of my other content, don't forget to comment and subscribe for more. But until next time, I love you all a lot, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. I don't know what I'm singing. This is my outro, but thanks. See you next time. Love you. Bye.